Thinking about starting your own podcast? Think it's a good idea that you try Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. And Anchor gives you everything you need in one place. And the best part is that it's free. And the other best part is you can use it right from your phone or your computer. And I've been using it from my phone this entire time. Creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast so it really sounds great. They'll distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. And when I mean everywhere, I mean Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can easily make money from your podcast, and there's no minimum listenership. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Now's the time to travel and be with the people you care about the most. And at Holiday Inn and Holiday Inn Express, we're helping you be there for less. Save at least 25% at thousands of hotels worldwide if you book by September 24th. You won't want this moment to pass you by. So book today at HolidayInn.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Talk about trust. Trust is a very sensitive topic, I think, for some people, and I also think that it's a very interesting topic to talk about because I think a lot of people have different opinions and different views on what it means to trust somebody, and if you believe that trust is important in a relationship or and when I mean relationships, I mean, this includes relationships in your family, relationships with your friends, like love relationships. Well, I mean, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, both of those things all those things can be included in the relationship aspect. The reason I wanted to touch on this topic is because I am still myself figuring out some of the best strategies to be able to trust people and be able to gain trust back from somebody, that you lost trust from. And I know we've all had situations happen, whether it be at work, whether it be with your friends, and like I said, your family or your significant other, and it's somebody once said that, when you do get that trust back, it's not the same as it was the first time, because the first time around when you trusted somebody, and I know people can relate to this, you had in your head, this person was not going to do you wrong. Like you never had a thought in your head that person would do you wrong because you already had that trust established. You knew like they were going to have your back. They were call you and they were going to call you. They were going to pick you up when they were going to pick you up. They were going to go to this event with you that they, whatever the case may be. Or let's say that you first meet somebody, for example, and the trust hasn't even started. But in the beginning, when you first meet somebody that is, potentially a new friend or a new relationship, if you were hurt in the past by someone that, you were put in the same particular situation, like let's say somebody was taking you out to dinner, things were going really good, and then that you found out that person was dating other women, but they told you that they weren't, a situation like that, or even, with your kids, like I know parents can relate to this, when your kids do something, when they lie to you, how do you get that trust back with your kids once they go past that they do that. Once they lie to you, you're like, okay, how do I earn that trust back with my kid? And it's a lot for me. I think trust is different. It can be different, in different relationships. So like, with like my boyfriend, I trust that, he's going to always have my back. I trust that he's going to be loyal to me, which is, is almost equally as important as trust is in a relationship. I trust that, he's going to be there for me when I need him to be there for me. I trust that every day, if I need to have a conversation with him and we need to sit down and talk about something, that I know I can sit down and talk to him about it. And then compared to like, your family members, like you have different things that you trust them with. Like maybe you need them to help you move, like you got to move one day, or you have a family member that's going to watch your kids for you, so you trust that they're going to take care of your kids for you. There's another, there's all different aspects of trust, and there's all different aspects of a relationship. And I think that trust, once you find that trust and you have that trust with somebody, it's like the coolest thing ever, because you know that like that person's not gonna do you wrong. You know what I mean? You know that person's not gonna ever go behind your back and do anything that would be, that would break the trust again. And then it's like, I feel like once, and I know that there's got to be some people that can relate to this too. If you've had your trust broken time and time and time and time again, you have a really difficult time being able to trust anybody. And it isn't just, and it's not like, and I mean, you literally question everything that everyone says to you, because you've heard so many people deceive you. And in order to be able to get that, for you to be able to trust people, you have to trust yourself too. You have to be confident and not insecure about yourself, and don't get me wrong, you definitely have the right to feel that way because you've been broken, but you also need to look at yourself and look at who you're surrounding yourself with at that point. What kind of people are you surrounding yourself with? People that you can't trust. And then, maybe you haven't, maybe that's something you didn't realize before. And that's something that I realized. Like I was talking to people that I thought I could trust, and then, they turn around and they say stuff, about you or behind your back, and then you get really thrown off by it. And then you're like, all right, well, once you go back and you evaluate, then you're like, all right, then I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to kind of remove myself from that person. I'm going to remove myself from getting in situations with that person if I can, and then the hardest part is when, like with your family, and you lose that trust with your family member, that's somebody that you truly, truly care about, and you want what's best for them. You know what I mean? And you want to keep giving people chances and giving them chances because you care so much about them. And it's the same, your significant other is your family. You care, and you care, and you care, and you give, and you give. And sometimes it's not good enough. And if that person doesn't want to be a trustworthy person, then you have all rights to not trust them too. If they flat out tell you, like, I can't be honest with you, or like, I feel like if they lie to you several times and they're lying to you, you have to be able to call them out and tell them, like, I can't trust you, and hopefully that will start something with that person and be like, oh shoot, like they don't trust me, like what do I need to do? And I just wanted to talk about, like my boyfriend in the beginning. I won't go in detail about like why I didn't trust him, and he didn't trust me either because of our circumstances before we got together. And he had rights to not trust me, and I had rights to not trust him. And in order for us to trust each other and know that we were in a loyal, honest relationship, we would have talks, and we would sit down and we would be like, all right, look, I know you're doing this, or I know you're not doing this, and I really need you to step it up, and I need you to do this, or, it from coming from both perspectives. Like, we had a lot of, sit down, honest, and, transparent conversations about what was important for us in our relationship. And, we've been together for almost 2 years, and just within the past 7-8 months of our relationship, we really started to realize that we were doing really good for each other, because anytime I would get down about something, he would stop, he would catch it and be like, hey babe, let's talk about this, let's get through whatever is bothering you, I can tell something's up. And then I do the same thing with him. If I notice something, okay, let's talk about it. And we're so good at being able to help each other, get through certain situations. If he feels like he needs to talk about, something with his career, or just making life choices, it's so cool that we can agree on so many things, and he's always supporting every decision that I make, just like I'm going to support every decision that he decides to make. And you have to be a team at that point, and that's, like I said, that's a significant other trust. And there's so many other, just on a day-to-day basis of strangers being able to trust you go to the doctor's office for the first time, and this person's taking your vitals. You have to know, there's certain moments in life where you have to be able to trust that person, or that, that situation, based on, reviews and reputation that people have. And then obviously if you personally have a situation where you can't trust those people anymore, then that's different. But that's a completely, like I said, when I mentioned before about having different kinds of trust, you would, from them having a medical degree, and and them having, when you go online and you look up reviews and people say, oh yeah, it's great, you're gonna go in there and think, you're gonna go walking in to that situation automatically trusting. Or you go to an event and you had to have a stranger set up your stuff, you have to trust that, so they did it right for you. And my biggest thing, and my last point that I want to say is, to have trust within yourself. Believe in yourself, be confident in yourself, and know that you're a trustworthy person, so you're going to surround yourself with trustworthy people. And it's going to be awesome for you, because you really, when you find that happiness and you find that confidence in yourself, it's so cool, the kind of people that come in your life.
It's the sale you've been waiting for. Now through Monday, get a huge 50% off the styles you need now, with 50% off all jeans, 50% off all dresses, and 50% off all tees. That's right, 50% off. Jeans start at $15 for adults, $10 for kids. Want fashion in a flash? Buy online and pick up in store for free. Hurry, the sale ends Monday at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Valid 8/29 through 9/2. Excludes in-store clearance, jumpsuits, rompers, bubbles, active, licensed, and men's package tees.
The House of Rohl journeys far and wide to bring you exceptional quality kitchen and bath fixtures. We've discovered the world's best craftsmen and techniques. Using materials native to the region and tools accustomed to individual craftsmen, we strive for perfection every step of the way. With all of this, you'll see the details of your own story, the story of a life well crafted. This is the story Craft tells. Welcome to the House of Rohl.